everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith Phillips, and this, I believe, is going to be vlog number 2 in whatever we're titling this series of catch-up vlogs. So if you missed what's going on, I'll link the playlist below. I think you've got 2 vlogs before this. This is really weird doing this knowing you're not going to see it for a little while, but it's currently January 10th. And I am gearing up here in just a few minutes to start a live stream, actually. So I need to kind of do my little intro here, get you caught up, and then be ready for this live stream shortly. But in this vlog here, it got cut off right in the middle, and I was like, whoops, can't tell you what I'm doing quite yet. And then in the last vlog, you saw me struggling through the initial sort of brainstorming phase. It's been a week since the vlog you saw before this. Anyway, it's been some time, and I've been brainstorming, and the last few days, I feel like I'm on the verge of the breakthrough. I'm so close. It feels like, you know, when you have a word on the tip of your tongue and you can't quite think of it, you know, and you're like, wait, what is it? It feels like that, but with this story in my brain. So I have a lot of this story like figured out, but there's a main component that I'm not sure how to weave throughout. And there's just some things I'm not quite sure about yet. So I think, what was it, 2 days ago? Yesterday? I think it was yesterday, Friday. Anyway, within the last couple days, I decided to do something different to sort of like break the brainstorming I was doing. So I had been doing a lot of brainstorming in this notebook. I had been writing, I've used this thing for a lot of different stuff, but I had all kinds of notes for this story, lots of highlights and scratch outs and calendars and all kinds of, you know, whatever I was doing, trying to figure out this story. I had brainstorming notes in Scrivener also, and it was getting to the point where it was like, I had 10,000 ideas and I really just needed like 500. And so I decided to break away from this space and go somewhere else to do a different type of brainstorm. And this might be like something to try if you're at a point in your story where you feel stuck. Sometimes this kind of thing doesn't seem like it'll do anything, but it actually helps sometimes. And what I decided to do is use my laptop and go in another room and do something different. So for several years now, I've had this desktop computer that you can't quite see in this shot, but I've had this desktop since 2021, I believe, like fall of 2021, somewhere in there. And I love it. I love having this bigger screen. I like this a lot. I like having usually this one space to come and write. This is the writing space, and I like that. It works for me. I like having a nice office chair to sit in. That helps too. I'm not the type of person that can like slouch in bed and type. I mean, I could, but my back would probably riot after not too long. So anyway, before I got this computer, I used to have a laptop. And I got that in like 2012. That thing is old. So I haven't used that in a long time. And one of the first purchases I decided I wanted to make with the advance I got is a new laptop to be able to transport my work elsewhere and not be like 100% tied to this desk. So I got a new to me laptop, but it's actually used. I decided to get a used one because I was like, Meredith, you do not need the newest, shiniest 2026 MacBook that's like $1,000. You don't need that. Because all I really want this for is a word processor. Just let me type on you and be able to like sync it with my other computer, right? So I decided I was going to get a used one. So this is a 2022, and you know what? It works just fine. It came with a few little dings on it. I don't know if you can see that, but so it's not pristine. It's not like new, but it's new to me and it works great. So what I did is I took it out of this room. I went into our living room and I just started a brand new blank Scrivener document, and I just started typing out here's the backstory for this character, here's the backstory for this character, and then here's where the book starts, and here's what happens first, and here's what happens after that, and because of that, this happens, blah, 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 blah. So I'm just like typing. I'm just like telling myself the story. And if you've been here on my channel for some time and you've watched me go from initial story idea to finished product, you know that one part of my brainstorming and like pre-outlining stuff typically involves me telling myself the same story over and over and over again in various formats. So I do a big brain dump. I do a big, like I just said, you know, document where it's just first this, then this, then this. I'll do my little calendar eventually. I have it printed out. I haven't used it for a whole lot yet, but like I'll do the little calendar and I will write in pencil, you know, what happens on each day event-wise within the story. So like I tell myself the story over and over again. And as I do that, I'm able to clarify things, streamline things, get it in good enough shape to then be able to go into actually what I consider to be like official outlining. So we're not there yet. There's one element of this story that I really want to use, a historical detail that I really want to use, and I haven't 100% figured out how to use it effectively. So let me tell you about it, because in the previous vlog I was super vague because I wasn't sure what I was allowed to share and when I was going to post it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to tell you now. In 1811, there was a great comet. Every so often we have great comets, which are comets that are essentially like super easy to see. You don't need a telescope, you don't need binoculars, you can just look up in the sky and it's just hanging out. Sometimes they're visible for like a month or two. Other times they're visible for extended periods of time. So the comet that came in 1811 was a comet that was visible for like over a year. Not always in the same place because of like science and rotation and planets and sciencey things. You could see it though at various places on Earth at various points in the year. And I mean, it's cool. Like, how often does that happen? Not like all the time. It was the longest visible comet up until 1997's Hale-Bopp. Now, if you're someone my age, you probably remember Hale-Bopp because we could see that in the sky for like a year. And it was pretty cool to see this huge comet just like hanging out in the sky. So anyway, I really love that. I think that's such a fun event that is not something that happens all the time. And I really want to use it in the story in some capacity. The problem I've been running into is what is like the conflict here, or what is the story element where this comet matters for anything. I just wasn't sure what direction to go because it wasn't like you had to go somewhere specific in order to see it. It was visible pretty much everywhere. It was very bright. So people could just go look at it. There's no reason that you would not want someone to look at it. Like, what is happening in this story where this comet is playing such a major role? I maybe have come to some conclusions. Maybe it doesn't quite make sense yet, honestly. I need to like dig into the character a little more to see how am I going to make this work. But if I can figure this out, I think that'll be the key to kind of blowing this story open for me. I'm very excited. I'm almost done with my little document about just, you know, where I'm like telling myself the story or whatever. So I'm hoping to finish that up pretty quickly here on the live stream in a few minutes. I'm right at the end with, you know, the conclusion, the climax, the grand gesture, all that. I'm gonna have like a dual, I love when I can do this, to have like a dual grand gesture moment. I think that's super fun, and I have great ideas for what each of the main characters could do for the other person. But what I'm running into now and I'm realizing is there's a huge like timing issue here. Both of the grand gestures I have in mind I think are really great, but they're not like he just needs to run out to the store and buy this thing for her. It's not like that. It's going to take a lot of like planning and work and time to execute these grand gestures. And so I need to figure out like how to do that, how to give the characters the time they would need to do these things without the other person knowing. And yeah, so anyway, I'll figure it out. But I have some great thoughts. I have some fun ideas. It's coming together. We're getting closer, okay? This feels very much like I'm making an emulsion where it's like these two things should not mix together, and I'm like, you're gonna mix, gosh darn it. And I'm just like, ah! So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself set up for this live stream, hopefully finish this little document for myself, and then I'll be able to go in and pull it apart a little more and kind of insert new facts here, delete things that I don't like, review my notes, all my brainstorming notes that are in like 17 different places, and hopefully have a little more concrete of a story idea. Does that sound like a plan? Hopefully, yes. Let's get this live stream going. All right, hello again. It is almost 5 o'clock. The live stream ended a little while ago, but I've been doing what? I needed to just stand up and stretch. You know how that goes. I did finish the little like general summary of what I'm thinking. It ended up at about, I think, 5,000 words. Yeah. I have some new ideas. Specifically something I've never really thought about in a story before. So we'll see how that goes. More of a literary device. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But this is helpful. I feel like there's a lot of things I need to research. And this definitely has serious plot holes and like plot issues. But it's just the general concept at the moment. So I'm happy with how this looks for now. And then I feel like I'll be able to go in and kind of edit through this to add details, refine things, and hopefully get a little more semblance of an actual story. So yeah, that's where I am for the moment. That's probably gonna be it for me for today, but I'll come back when I have some more brainstorming updates for you. So, sorry about the lighting. I don't know what's happening with this doggo right now. He was outside for like a while and was having a nice time just, being a dog in the backyard. And he started barking, so I went to get him. What are you doing, Mr. Man? Sit down. Perfect. Anyway, I brought him inside and he was like full body shaking. Why? I don't know. It's a little chilly outside right now, but he likes, like, he's been outside in chilly weather before. I don't know what's going on. So anyway, I don't know if he heard something that made him scared, but now he's like trying to climb on top of me. Nahan, sit down, Mr. Man. So anyway, I have like the weighted blanket I'm trying to put on him, but he keeps moving and it falls off. So anyway, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to try to do some work eventually. I want to go over the story, summary kind of thing that I was working on yesterday and the day before. Just sit, Mr. Man. It's okay. So my plan for today is to go over what I've been working on the last couple days and flesh out little pieces of it. See if I can come up with a stronger hook. There's an element that kind of comes in toward the end and I need to thread it in more in the beginning. So once this issue is resolved, I'll be getting to work on that. Hey, voiceover Meredith here. Please note that despite the fact I'm wearing the exact same incredibly comfortable outfit, this is in fact like a week later. The outfit has been cleaned in the days since, but we're skipping ahead to the next weekend because that is the next piece of footage that I have. Enjoy. Hello, welcome back. I guess I filmed whatever you saw previous to this. I filmed that like a week and a half ago. I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what I was doing. I was brainstorming, but I don't know where we got with all that. Anyway, it's currently January 18th and I am stuck. I am very stuck on this dang story. I have been banging my head against the wall trying to think of a story. Now I will say this, I did think of a story. Was the story compelling? Was it inventive? Was it hooky? I don't think so. It was cute. But it was missing that zhuzhy element, you know? And I think a couple things are happening. Number one is I do have, for the first time ever, the time crunch issue. I have said I wanted to have a completed outline by the end of March. That gives me 2.5 months. That doesn't seem like so bad. If I had a solid idea right now, I absolutely could have a completed outline by the end of March. Zero issue. I don't have that core idea yet though. So I'm feeling pressure from hurry up, you better think of something. Come on, hurry up. So there's that kind of pressure. Then there's also the pressure of the fact that this book will be book 2. It's going to be the second book that gets published, and I feel like there's a lot of pressure on book 2 for several reasons. So book 1, Rogue's Guide, will already be out in the world. People will have read it by the time this one is coming out, by the time this one is getting promoted. And it almost feels like this is your last chance to rope people in, which I know is not completely true, but here are all my jumbled thoughts. So book 1 comes out. People will read it. That's a little scary, but people are going to read it and they're going to have a variety of opinions. Some people are going to read it and they're going to be 5 stars. I loved it. This was great. I can't wait for book 2. Those are the people that are I got them. They like my writing. They like my story. They're definitely going to pick up book 2 when it comes out, right? We love it. Okay. Then there's people who will read book 1 and they will not like it. It's going to be a 1 or 2 star book for them. They are not going to like my writing style. They're not going to like the story. It's just not for them. That's okay. Those people are they're out. Why would they pick up book 2 from an author that they really disliked that first book? They're probably not getting book 2. Then there's the people in the middle. They're the people who are going to read book 1 and they're going to be it was a 3-star book for them, or maybe a 4-star book for them. It wasn't quite 5. It wasn't terrible. They liked elements of it, but it didn't really hit home for them somehow. Something was off for them, okay? Those are the people who will still, I think, be convinced, maybe, to pick up book 2 and give me another chance as an author, so to speak. You know what I mean? I didn't love book 1. It wasn't the worst. Let me check out book 2 and see if she improves, see if it gets better, see if I like it more, whatever. If those meh people pick up book 2 and still have meh feelings about book 2, I feel then it's you've used up your 2 chances with these people. If you read 2 books by an author and they're both 3 stars, are you going to be excited to pick up a 3rd book from that author? Probably not. It would have to have such a huge, compelling blurb to it. You know what I mean? So I feel this pressure of book 2 better be good, because I want those meh people to pick up book 2, give me one more shot and love it. So I feel this one has to be so good. I have to one up myself. And that's so much pressure. Oh my gosh. So every story idea I'm thinking of, I'm no, that's not good enough. No, it's not good enough. It's not hooky enough. It's not interesting enough. It's not different enough. It's not fresh and interesting and new and So I'm definitely I'm just feeling a lot of pressure to make this even better than book one, you know? And on the one hand, I'm like, that's not necessarily wrong, because like I said, there's gonna be these different groups of people who've read book one, and I'm gonna want them to pick up book two. But it's really hard to brainstorm something I feel is better than book one, and to do it within this like time constraint. Now, the end of March deadline is just what I've told my editor is my goal. That is not anything official. She's not said, okay, well, it better be on my desk by March 31st. Like, that's not how it's going. If I can't think of something, or I like think of something really late and I'm still working on it in March, like I can email her and be like, hey, it's gonna be a few more weeks or whatever. Like, that's fine. But thinking through all of the pieces of the writing process in terms of outline, drafting, revisions. Like, if you work backwards from when the book is actually due, like, I really want to have that outline completed by the end of March, so then I don't feel pressured in those later stages of the writing process. So anyway, a lot of pressure, and I'm doing my best over here. Honestly, like, I'm just trying my best. What do I have that I like so far? I wrote, let me tell you this too. I wrote literally a 5,800 word story summary for what I was thinking, and I sent it to one of my writer friends, and I was like, what do you think? She was like, ooh, okay, I like these pieces. She had some nice things to say, but she agreed it was just not hooky enough. My arch nemesis, hookiness. So I'm going back to the drawing board, but there are some things about that summary and some of the things that I've thought of for the characters that I do really like. The thing that I really like about the characters is the backstory elements I have in place for them, especially for the heroine character. I really like her backstory. I think it opens up the possibility to have some interesting discussions and themes and things like that within the novel. So I want to keep that for sure, like 100% for sure. I'm trying to think of how to say this without like being spoilery or something, or giving away too much. Okay, so she's done something in her past that she cannot undo. She can't undo it. There's not a way to fix it. Period. End of story. There is not a way to undo it, okay? You can say sorry, but that's not going to fix anything. And so her character arc has to do with how does she feel, what does she feel like she needs to do in order to redeem herself from this past mistake she's made, okay? And I'm thinking, like, in real life, you know, if you make a mistake that is, you cannot undo it. Like, there's certain mistakes we make in life that you can't actually fix it. You can literally fix the whole thing and it's fine and everybody's happy and it's great. But there's other mistakes you make where it's like, you can't undo that. The consequences of it are going to follow you either forever or at least for a really long time. And so the mistake she's made, or like the thing she's done that is undoable is like, how do you redeem yourself from that? How do you come back from it? How do you forgive yourself? How do you deal with it, essentially? And so I'm trying to think of like, well, how do you, how do you fix something that's unfixable? And I know, like, in the end, I know I know how her character arc is going to conclude, but she needs to have like a false goal, essentially, where she's like, ooh, I'm going to do this thing and that will fix it. That will redeem me. That will, you know, make me feel better, essentially. And it can't be a bad goal. I want it to be something that is like a noble goal, something that nobody would have any kind of like issue with. It's not like, she's certainly not trying to do something bad. You know, she has a kind-hearted goal in mind. What is that goal? And then how does that like tie in with the hero's past and his goals and all this stuff? So anyway, I've thought of a few things. I thought of something just yesterday where it's like, maybe this and maybe that, but I'm not like super in love with the idea. So anyway, that's where I am at the moment. All of this back and forth, all of this pressure, all of this everything, I have so many like fun elements in mind, and I'm just not sure how to tie it all together still, which I think is exactly what I was saying in some of those previous clips. So anyway, so for today, I'm really just going to try to like lock in and get something done. I don't know. I pulled up my old pitch document for Rogue's Guide because I thought, ooh, maybe I could start with a pitch, like the one sentence pitch, right? Because sometimes that can be really helpful in narrowing in on the super key aspects of the story and the characters. So the best, or at least in my head, the thing that works for me best when coming up with the one sentence pitch is when character encounters problem, they must action to goal or else stakes. And if you fill that in, essentially, that's your one sentence pitch. Now, a one sentence pitch cannot be like 50 words. It needs to still be concise. And because this is a romance and I have two main characters, I need to fit in like all of their goals and motivations. Anyway, so I pulled that up thinking maybe I can kind of start with that, and that might help point me in a certain direction. The other thing that's missing here, that with all of these ideas I feel like that I've had so far, is the stakes. I'm like, if she fails, what's the problem? And it's just like, I don't know, she just kind of fails and goes back to square one, which is not much. That is not, those are not very good stakes. So yeah, just a lot to think about. I'm slightly frustrated, which is kind of silly because I'm like, you can't, I mean, frustration makes sense. I don't know what I'm even trying to say. I can't make myself think of something. It's just going to pop into my brain when it does. So I just need to keep going, keep pushing. I have had a little bit of a break this past week, which I think has been good because sometimes those ideas just then sit in the back of your head and percolate and like meld with each other and do weird brain things. And so having that little break this week, I was working on something else. Having that little break this week was very good. And I'm like coming back to it this weekend, like, okay, what's going on in the back? Did I like magically think of some amazing thing in my subconscious while I was working on other stuff? And so far my brain has been like, so listen, not really, which is a little disappointing. Let me get going over here, pull up some sort of little background music and just see what I can think. I do also have a new candle in the house. It is sage and citrus. It's okay. I like it. It's not like my favorite. I wanted something a little different. I was hoping it would be like inspiration for the book. It has not so far helped in that manner, but that's okay. At least it smells good. It was on sale like 50% off. So I was like, absolutely yes, I'm gonna get it. She's pretty. All right, let me see if I can think of a book. Allow me to explain why you should literally never use ChatGPT for anything, but specifically for research purposes. Okay, we all know that it's going to give you crap information. Don't do that. But here's why. Here's why this kind of playing around with stuff is so much better than asking some stupid AI what is the deal with something. I am exploring the idea or like the historical thing of lying in hospitals for pregnant women. These were essentially hospitals for pregnant women to give birth and then stay for a while to recover, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm like searching, like, give me information about this. I could have, if I was an idiot, gone to ChatGPT and been like, tell me about these, and it would have given me some kind of random information that may or may not have been true. So I'm going to my favorite place, newspapers.com, which is scans of newspapers from the last hundreds of years. And I'm looking at all these different things. I found the name of a man who had founded a hospital for women. I was like, who is this guy? I look him up. He had a huge number of successes in his ability to keep women alive after they gave birth. the mortality rate of women in his hospital was like 2% or something compared to like 25% or whatever it was at the time. Like, he had a lot of innovative ideas about care for women that are the things we use today in terms of like, make sure you're clean when you touch her, like wash your hands and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, he had founded a hospital called St. Mary's Hospital. So then I go to newspapers.com and I search St. Mary's Hospital to see if I can find newspaper articles about this hospital, any opinion pieces, like what are we thinking at the time. So I come to this page, it's highlighted on here, hold on. It's highlighted St. Mary's Hospital. As I'm reading this though, I'm realizing this is not talking about the St. Mary's Hospital that I'm interested in. This is something else. But I'm on this page, and this is a death. This is an obituary, right? It says, Mrs. Noon, aged 105, native of Scotland, born in the crime. She lived in St. Mary's Hospital. I go just above that and find 116. Just past Mrs. Jane Lewson, commonly called Lady Lewson, from her eccentric manner of dress. Excuse me? Number one, 116 is crazy, even for today's day and age, but in the Regency, that would have been like absolutely wild. And then I must know more. I must know more about her eccentric manner of dress. So I Google it, and there's a Wikipedia article for this lady. So now I'm reading about Lady Lewson and her crazy dressing and all this stuff. I never would have known that this woman existed if I had gone to something like ChatGPT to try to get answers, because it's not going to tell me about this lady. She has nothing to do with what I was looking for. But because she happened to be mentioned on the same page as this other reference, which also really has nothing to do with what I was looking for, I now have information about this other lady. What am I going to do with that information? I don't know, but I have it in my head now. I'm going to save this reference because it's so interesting. This is why when you're doing research, you need to go to the first-hand accounts, first-hand sources, notes from the day, books from the day, newspapers from the day. Look at that. Do not try to cheap out and take a shortcut and do something stupid like ChatGPT. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. I'm going to go back to researching Lady Lewson now. I've been working for a little while. I have some thoughts. I have some ideas. Here's the problem though. I don't know what the stakes are. I'm like, oh, okay, the character wants to do this thing, and it's a very good goal, and it ties in with the backstory, da-da-da-da-da. But if she doesn't accomplish it, what is the personal consequence for her? There are none. So, still need to do some thinking. Maybe this isn't the direction I'll go in, but I'm finding some things that are interesting to me. And I feel like that's important. You know, I was, like I said yesterday, I thought of some stuff yesterday, but I was kind of meh on it. And I definitely am still meh on it. It's not that it's a bad idea necessarily. I just don't want to. Something about it was not like grabbing me. This is much more interesting to me for some reason. I don't know why, but I find this much more interesting than the stuff I was doing yesterday. So I'm going to keep researching. I'm going to think about stakes. That's so important because a lot of times you can have a really fun conflict, but there has to be stakes involved. If the characters don't get what they want, what do they lose? And it has to be something major. They can't just be like, oh, well, I guess my life will just go back to what it was. Like, that's not really stakes. So I'm going to keep thinking and keep looking at newspapers.com. Now hold on a second. Did I just think of it? Oh my gosh. Wait, this could be so good. maybe. I need to write some things down. Okay, so I was reading this blog article. It was going over some information, a lot of which I already kind of know. It said, it was one sentence. It was one sentence that said something, again, that I already was aware of. But something about the way it phrased it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If I do this in my story, it'll fit things together. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta write some stuff down because I think this could tie in my big historical thing that I'm so excited about. I mean, it's all historical, but like there's an event in 1811 that I'm eager to use, and this could tie in so perfect with some other ideas I have. Oh my gosh. Okay.